I think that in just the Christian world in general, we use the term sanctification as a process as a scapegoat to delay us making practical steps to stop sinning.
Coming live on your radio.
What they want?
That real and raw.
How they get it?
DJ Focus.
What we doing?
Making music, reaching the corner. And it's all for the
And
kingdom.
we gon' make sure they know it.
Ooh, 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 ooh. We gon' take it there. I like red letters over trap beats to fix it. Saying, ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh.
Yes, sir. Welcome back. DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You tap back into the Fixx, your number one source of faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. Y'all know what time it is. And when I tell y'all we got two of the best to do it in our space that have not been talked about, a dynamic brother and sister duo. And when I say I've probably been following them for at least, I would say a solid 5 years, if I be real. And like they have made authentic music together, separate from each other. And I just don't know why they're not on these Billboard charts. We ain't talking about them in these spaces, but I'm excited to have them on right now. The super talented Evan and Eris Ford. What's going on, y'all?
Hello, hello.
Hey.
So excited to be here.
Yes, thank you for having us, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. So come on, just catch the listeners up for those who may not know about you two. Take us back a little bit on a little bit of the musical journey on how you guys even got into music together or separate.
Okay, got into music. We're going way back. Okay, so my parents have always been in the music industry. My mom has always been a vocal coach, and my pops has always been a worship pastor. And so, you know, growing up, we're going to rehearsals, we're doing conferences, we're learning instruments. My mom's teaching us how to sing. We really didn't know what we were going to end up doing. Like if it was going to be worship pastor or like in the industry, we didn't know how that was going to play out. And then I don't know how old we were in Connecticut, but we started doing like covers of people's songs.
We're like, I think I was like 12 or 13 and you were like 16, something like that.
Yeah. And so we started doing little covers and kind of that's really where our passion to work together like began, because we started experimenting, man. And then covers turned into views and we were like, wait, maybe people like us doing this, you know what I mean? Maybe this is something God wants us to do. And so that's kind of like where we started, you know what I mean?
Did you ever feel like you guys had to do it the gospel way or the Christian way, or did you guys feel like you wanted to kind of experiment with like maybe a little bit more of the R&B, just, you know, type vibe?
I think it was very organic how we came into our sound.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't feel any pressure to like go straight gospel or even go Christian hip hop. Like it just feels like, well, I'll say this, our where we live daily is worship. So, you know, everything basically that you hear is just a overflow of our like worship you know, background. And so yeah, it just honestly the only way I could describe it is it was just an organic type of thing. Like that's just what happened. Like that's just what's coming out, you know what I mean? So yeah, we're so thankful and just so honored to be able to be vessels and use our gifts to glorify God. So
yeah, and I would also say we didn't grow up like listening to Christian hip hop. Like I didn't know what Christian hip hop was until I don't know, maybe 13, 14. So like I didn't like know about the industry or anything like that, and didn't listen to it much. We mostly listened to like
CC
Winans, like Kim Burrell, you know what I mean? Like Byron Cage, you know, like those are the artists like we grew up listening to. So that's why we thought we were going to be worship pastors. But then like me just liking the type of music that I liked, I was like inclined to sing a different way, or like if I covered a song, I would produce it differently. You know what I mean? And so like she said, it just really happened organically.
Call y'all the new age BB and CC Wine, son. That's what you're really trying to say humbly.
Yeah.
Humbly,
Let's
you're
go.
trying to say it humbly. It's okay. It's okay to flex a little bit. God flex.
Yeah,
So
we appreciate it.
no, so talk about that a little bit for a minute, Evan. When did you get into producing? Like, how did you, because I hear you guys, growing up, being able to sing and having that gift, your mom being able to coach you guys through that. But when did you start producing?
So producing was always something like I would do in and out. I had a friend, one of my first producer friends, his name was Josh Heath, killer producer. We were producing on Reason 4 and just kind of like watching my dad using Reason, and we were like, oh, maybe we could try this. And so we were trying that, and then I moved to Connecticut, met a couple other producer friends out there who kind of like instilled little small tidbits. And honestly, like, it's just experimentation. Like, I experimented with what I liked and different programs and all that, and I realized like I could make what I like. And so, and if I can't, I know I can learn. And so that's kind of like the production evolution. And now fast forward all this time, I think I was 18 when I met my sister's husband Javier, and then our homie Matt, and we just started teaching each other how to produce, how to be better, iron sharpening iron. And like, none of us really knew what we were doing, but I would like show them stuff that I knew, and then they would take it, elevate it, and do it, you know what I mean, like different stuff. And now we're just like this group who kind of like taught ourselves. Obviously God ordained it all, and there was little people that like would instill different bits of knowledge here and there. But man, I didn't really like plan to be a producer. It just like happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a blessing. Talk about your creative process. Stay right there for a minute. What does it look like for y'all to create a track? Because I mean, one, for you to not, have any type of, schooling, and I feel like I was waiting for this story of you going to some type of fancy college and being trained, because the music sonically sounds amazing. So I just want to give both y'all kudos. But talk about your creative process. What does that look like for y'all to, create this magic that you guys create?
A lot of the times, like it's we're like, I guess you could consider us, professionals in what we do. But if you like are in the studio with us, like, we're literally just brother and sister, like, in the studio. Like, it's super, like, nothing crazy. Like, it's really nothing fancy.
Yeah.
It'll mostly be him, because I can't produce as far as he can, or my husband or Matt. And so typically it'll be one of their beats, and Evan will start an idea, and then he'll send it to me, or we'll get together and we'll kind of build off of that idea. And whatever melodies I have, like, it's like a yes or a no, and then we'll just kind of like build off of a simple idea. Or it's happened in the past where we were living in separate areas back in Colorado, and we were about an hour away from each other, and there's a song called People that's on our first album. And while we were in our separate households, it was just pressed on our hearts, the same issue of like the world. And I called him, I believe, and I was like, bro, like, this is so heavy on my heart. And I don't even remember if I sent you my verse or what, but like that song came together in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Simply because it was just both pressed on our hearts at the same time, and the beat was ready, and like all of that happened just like that. And so sometimes there will be moments where it's really, really just quick, because we already know what we need to say. Other times, there's digging for the right lyric, for what we're trying to say and stuff. So it kind of varies from song to song. But otherwise, we're just having so much fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And love doing, what we do.
I'd also say that there's no like set process for us.
Yeah.
Like, we start a song, and then however that song needs to like go through like the refining process, like, then we just let it do that. If a song needs to sit for a couple months, then it's just gonna sit for a couple months. Not because we're not working, but if it's just not where it needs to be yet, then we're okay with waiting. We worked on our first album for almost 7 years.
Yeah.
And I remember every year I wanted to release it. And it's like almost God was like, you don't have the right person in your life yet, or you don't, not yet, you're not ready yet, like no team, like. And so I just remember like waiting in that process. Excuse me. But when we finally released our first album, the amount of streams that it acquired with no major backing it's over 100 million streams on that first album. And I remember thinking like, dang, like we waited like in the right way, and then God added weight to that album.
That's good.
And so a lot of people like would tell me like that album is not, or the album's, it's good, but it's like old. And I'm like, well, this is what God told us to work on, whatever. And so we're just going to do it. And then once we put it out, we saw the fruit of just being patient and waiting. And so there's never a rush. It's just like whatever the song needs, we'll wait on it. You know what I mean? So
do you guys ever? So one, I thank you for sharing that, both of you guys, and I think you guys do an amazing job of being. You guys are both great storytellers. But are there ever challenges for you guys to be like totally like transparent on some of the songs? Because I feel like some of it is life experience and stuff that you guys sharing. But do you guys kind of be like reserved at times? Like, should I say that, or should I give them all of this?
I mean, for me, I don't think so. I feel like my next album, or my first debut album, I'm working on it right now, is the most transparent I've ever been in my music. And I'm looking forward to it. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking forward to people understanding like the personal journey. And I think with Eris's album as well, like it was very personal. You know what I mean? And so
yeah, I think transparency is not something that scares us.
That's good.
Just because you get so many sugar-coated messages across the Christian music genre, and I would love to there are many who are also being transparent, like definitely not saying that we're the only ones, but I am saying like that transparency and that honesty, like we need that right now. Like it's not a time to be scared to talk about real things, to be scared to share real experiences, because we are no greater than any other human. And so there's someone, at least one person, who is going to be able to relate. And the goal is not only that they relate, but that they take the relatability, and it pushes them closer to Christ.
They can just relate to it.
Yeah.
More. I think also too is the understanding that being Christian doesn't mean you don't go through life.
You better preach.
Loving Jesus doesn't mean you don't hurt,
perfect,
or that you don't cry, or that you don't feel. That is a lie. We feel it too. You know what I mean? And so the difference is we go to Jesus for the remedy. You know what I'm saying? And so we feel all the things that you guys feel, that everyone else feels. And so it's just like, why not be transparent? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna give y'all roses. When you make timeless music, this thing is gonna be around well after y'all go to heaven, and people gonna be playing these songs. So my first song, I want y'all to talk about the inspiration behind this Blessings. That's one that's constantly being requested on our station, at least for our show specifically. So just talk about, where were you guys at? How did you guys make that? And the meaning behind everything that you wanted to put into that song.
Yeah. You're talking about Be All Right,
Be All Right.
right?
Forgive me. Be All Right. Yes.
I literally did
listen,
the same thing.
It's because your hook. You see how you throw me all off?
Yeah. No, you good. You can start this.
Yeah, so that one is actually a very funny beginning, because my husband made that beat. And when he first originally showed it to Evan and Evan loved it. And I was like, I don't know about that. And they were like, why? And I was like, I don't even know. Like, it's just not it. Or I don't know. I don't remember what I said. That song is so old now. But they were like, just trust us, Eris. Like, get over yourself and just do it.
Yeah.
And so we ended up just writing the lyrics and everything. And
well, even before that, Well, I guess after that, I didn't even want the song on the album, not because I didn't like the song, but because I wanted to put the album out. Like I was tired of waiting on putting the album out. So I was like, man, let's just release the album instead of creating a new song. And this whole thing, like credit to Tony Galloway, like he's our manager, and he was like, man, I'm telling you guys, like this is the song you guys need on the album. And so we, both of us kind of came to senses and wrote the record, and we got a dope feature on it. And then Tony, like, I mean, credit to him, this is still our biggest song to this day.
Yeah.
Like we can't make it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why there's power in waiting, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the meaning, it's just like a real easy song. I feel like it's just encapsulated in the chorus. Like, we're gonna make it through if it takes us all night. Like, no matter what the odds may come our way, I can see the blessings coming my way. Like, I don't know. It's just like it's a real chill song that like gently reminds you of the truth that you're covered and you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
No matter what your circumstances look like you got God and He's got you, and you will be okay.
That's good. How about Due Season?
Oh, that's
a heavy one.
That's a heavy one. Yeah. Due Season is our parents have just done a lot for us, bro. So like it's honestly it's just honoring them. It's just about honoring them. Like that's it. Like I think a lot of people need to learn honor again.
Ooh.
Not just for their parents, but the Bible specifically says honor your mother and father. And so it would have not been okay with us if we put our first album out without dedicating a whole track to them. And so it's just a beautiful thing to be able to do. You know what I mean?
And it was also a surprise when we had our album listening party way back then. They had no idea of the song, and so it was kind of like a surprise thing to get them up there with us and listen to the whole thing together with them. And of course there was bawling and everything was happening in that moment, but it was just really, really special and really important to us that, in due season, God's just got it under control. And I mean, our family has been through so much, and at times it's been hard to like be like, all right, Lord, what's happening? But that song is just kind of like a reminder just to all of us as a family, like God's got it. Like he's got everything under his control, and
everything has a season.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling down, there's gonna be a season where you're feeling up. If it doesn't always snow. Like the sun's gonna come out at some point.
Yeah.
But having a perspective of seasons, which is why we named the album Seasons, is something that's important to us. Because when you have an understanding of, like, when people say it's my season, like I don't really understand that all the way, because it's like all of it is purposeful. All of it is purposeful. The down, you're supposed to mature in those levels, in the valley. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all purposeful. So to say it's my season, like all of it is my season. You know what I'm saying? I take ownership of the lows and the highs and the mids. You know what I mean? Like, because it all means something.
Well, that's I think that's what's wrong with the church. We don't want to talk about the low valleys, or when we need help, or
we want to rush out.
Yeah, we want to always put on this facade like we always got it together, like we always okay, and that's not realistic. Come on, that's never going to happen. So good luck for the ones who keep trying to put it on. Last one off of this project, and we're gonna talk about a couple of more. I think this was a sleeped on track. I definitely want to hear you guys talk about the inspiration behind this. Bow Down.
Oh man.
That one was a really fun one to do live.
Yeah.
We were doing live shows so much when the album first dropped, and then 2020 happened, and then we kind of have slowed down a lot, but I'm gonna have you take that.
Bow Down is literally one of my favorite songs we've ever made, like you said. It's so slept on. But what's funny about that song is I don't know how many revisions it went through, but like I had made the original track and we were getting ready to run with that. Like Javi and Matt had added some production or whatever. And then like when we heard it right before we were about to finalize, it was like, I feel like we can make this better. Like it just needs to just go through a whole entire reproducing, and it was like scary to do that, but the end result was just massively like better. Yeah. It was amazing.
This
But
I know. Come on, talk about that track. This I know.
yeah, that one is a very vulnerable
Uh-huh.
track for me. And I tried my best to really like make you understand that this is coming from like the deepest part of my heart. But yeah, like I think it just comes from just like my life summed up. Like I guess you could say that's maybe the title track to my life, is like acknowledging, you know, the road you choose is the way I go. The only steps I take are the ones you mold. And then in the beginning, I think I opened it like, gotta keep my head in the game because I know what it takes to avoid all the temptation. So it's just like, I've tried to paint a picture of what it looks like literally to walk as a believer. And it's acknowledging I know what I need to do in order to stay away from temptation, from falling into sin. And I know that it's you that I'm going to follow. And it's just like a reminder to myself and to hopefully the listener that, I guess what we were saying earlier, like we're just acknowledging life is hard and life can be very hard, but it's so possible to be able to bring yourself back to the truth of like, I can do this with Christ. Like I know that this is the road he set for me and that the road is narrow and that I can follow it if I subdue my flesh. You know what I mean? And so that's a really special song for me.
So when can we expect the next project? Because I feel like y'all sitting over there on a lot of songs, a lot of music, and y'all waiting for the Lord to tell y'all to release it. Will we see it the top of 2025, or are we still just gonna put out these singles? Because like you didn't put out these singles like Holy Spirit. I mean, I can go down the list that are still bangers. Let's be very clear, they bangers. But I just feel like it's a full project that y'all probably are just praying about releasing.
Yeah, so we are working on our second album right now. And the plan is to get it out. So like we're just in a season right now, which we haven't really been in a season where we can really just work on our music. And so now we're finally at a place where both of us like are really focused on putting out more music. And so we're working hard. Like every day we're talking about a new song or talking about a record that can fit in kind of shaping this next project. What I can say is going to be special. It's going to be super special. And the goal is, the goal is top of 25, that we get the record out to you guys. And so it's going to be a couple records though, because I'll be dropping my debut project, top of 25. It's gonna be a nice little run.
So will it be like all new music that we haven't heard? So like these singles y'all been putting out, is this just to keep us, saying our appetite wet until y'all was like really like ready? Like, cause you put Paint the Sky out, which I thought that was an amazing track too as well. Holy Spirit, like that's what I'm saying. Like, so what are these singles that y'all been putting out? Are they going to make a project, or are these just to keep us waiting?
So the singles that we've dropped that are together, like On the Way, Holy Spirit, Shadows, those are records from the album.
Okay.
Yeah, those are records from the album. And then at the same time, because you got to think about it, there's three artists in one, really, because you got Evan and Eris, but then you got Eris, and then you got me. You know what I'm saying? And so our personal journey is not the same as our journey together. We both are married, we both have kids, you know what I'm saying? And so there's different trials, different triumphs, like, and so you're gonna hear singles from Evan and Eris, albums from Evan and Eris, but also albums from Evan, Eris. You know what I mean? Because there's different journeys. So like the plan is next year, like we've been sleeping for a while, like going just life and transition and stuff like that. But now like the plan is next year is to literally go ridiculous.
So that'll look like an album, it could potentially look like an EP. Together, it looks like a joint album. Like,
and then more singles,
and
like,
then more singles throughout the year. Maybe another EP. Like, I don't know. We've definitely since our first album, there is a vault that is full. So it's just like a matter of like deciphering how to do like the releases of them.
Mhm.
But we definitely want 2025 to just be like literally nonstop.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Before I get y'all out of here, the show is called The Fixx. If you guys could fix or change something within our culture, Christian culture, the church, music industry, what would you change?
Wow, that's kind of crazy. I was just getting ready this morning, and I don't know. I don't even know why it was like on my mind, but I would say that and I think I'm probably still gonna post this thought, but I think that in just the Christian world in general, we use the term sanctification as a process as a scapegoat to delay us making practical steps to stop sinning. Does that
It
make
does.
sense?
That's a T-shirt too, as well. Shouts out to all the sinners who just want to keep sinning and don't want to change at all. So yeah, we talk about that on the show all the time. Seriously, that's a real talk topic that we talk about, how people just stay stuck. It's a difference between struggling in a sin and just flat out just doing whatever you want to do and say grace covers you and all these other things we can get on now. No, we're not gonna do that. What we're not gonna do is that not hold yourself accountable to change.
Right. And I think we just forget, like, I think we make it all spiritual when we are fleshly beings, and we have to take practical steps to stop. You know what I mean? And it's really not that complicated if you just lay it out and are like, okay, what do I go to that leads me to this, or who do I go to that leads me to this? And identify your triggers and then remove them. And then that's a huge first step. But in reality, we're like sitting there still entertaining these things and still entertaining these people. And then we're like, oh, I'm waiting for God to tell me when to stop. Like, I'm waiting for God to like tell me this is bad. And it's like a lack of self-control.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a lack of self-control, because we don't want to stop doing the things that make us feel good.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to that, I would say.
I think I would say, I was just telling a homie of this, a homie of mine this yesterday. I told him, I need you to have more reverence than what I've seen in our industry and in our churches.
Yeah.
Because we'll get on stage, we'll preach the whole stage down, or we'll sing the whole stage down. And then when we get off stage, it's like a separate person. And I just don't like that. And I feel like like if the president came in any room right now, there's certain things we wouldn't do. If our mom came in the room, there's certain things we wouldn't do. If I don't know, a prominent leader or whatever, like whoever you respect the most, how would you act in front of that person? And why are you giving them more reverence than God, who is always there? And so I was telling my homie yesterday, who's his platform's growing like crazy right now. I just was like, bro, I need you to be cognizant of how you move when you're off stage, and let how you are seen on stage be the same off. Like, be that reverent off stage too. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's just something that's kind of like, I wish we could address more of. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's good. Listen, last question. I'm definitely gonna get y'all out of here and have y'all introduce your latest single y'all want us to play for us today. If y'all guys could do a collab project with another group of siblings, who would you pick? Would you pick BB and CC? Would you pick Mary, or would you pick Dawkins and Dawkins?
Oh shoot.
We already had.
Okay.
I would say definitely it's BB and CC.
Yeah, I would say BB and CC. That would make the most sense.
Yeah.
Right?
It would.
Like, that makes the most sense
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah. Shouts out to BB and CC, just in case y'all want to do that collab.
Yes.
Listen, Evan Eris said they all for it.
Yes.
Listen, well, we appreciate y'all
Hey.
coming through. We got to get y'all back soon. Continue again. Want to give y'all roses. Continue to make this great music. You guys have made Christian R&B music like on another level. You know, like it's unmatched. I'm gonna just give y'all that. Y'all should definitely be in a lot of spaces. I pray you guys go on tours and do everything you need to do to make sure you get all your music out to the masses and expose people, because people need to know what y'all are doing, because y'all cooking up something amazing over there. So I'm praying for y'all, and continue to do what you guys do. Listen, tell the people how they can connect with you, follow you on all your social media platforms, and introduce whatever single you want us to play for.
Yes, so platforms, Evan and Eris on everything. If you look up Evan and Eris, Spotify, Instagram, you'll find us wherever you need to. And then personal, my Instagram is It's Evan Ford.
And then mine is Only Living for You.
So we just dropped a new single called On the Way. It's very simple. We're just on the way. We've seen God do some amazing things in our lives, and this song hits especially different right now for us as we just moved to Nashville, trying to just immerse ourselves in the industry. And yeah, if you feel like God is doing anything in your life, this song is for you. If you have dreams and aspirations, this song is for you. If you're needing inspiration, this song is for you. So check out On the Way anywhere you can listen to music.
Keep it locked. You tune into the Fixx. You know the Fixx is in.